Some people ask me, say, what's in the make I just tell them, say, if it's Jesus, they make me fine.
I think after the end of our second semester, like I know like 5 people who have traveled outside already. And it's like people you were with, yeah. And all of a sudden, like they're not here anymore. And it's just at first it just felt like something that I usually hear about. Like people are traveling outside of the country and they're leaving, but now it seems much closer. And I even have relatives abroad who are like asking whether or telling me to look for like scholarship opportunities so that I can also travel abroad. So I feel like there's this what's the word? Urgency, or there's this
pressure.
Exactly, for us to travel abroad because our relatives or even our parents feel like we have better opportunities over there than we have over here. Yes, please.
That's so true. Thank you so much for sharing. And I want to buttress your points as well, because it looks like we've gotten to a point as a country where the only solution we see in the future for us as youth is to leave the country, maybe to go and make money outside and come and chill in December, or maybe we want to stay in the country but we want to work for like businesses that are outside of the country so that we earn in dollars, so that when we change it, the value of the CD and the value of the dollar will make sure that we are getting our money's worth for all of the work we are doing. Okay, so we are going to like speed right into the session. Thank you, Melissa. I think I saw a comment from Ishmael. Ishmael says that, of course, it is necessary because no one wants to suffer. Thank you, Ishmael. It's true, it's very necessary because no one actually wants to suffer. But doesn't mean that being in Ghana necessitates you are going to suffer. Doesn't mean that if you are going to be in Ghana, this is going to be very interactive. So please raise your hand if you want to answer any questions. Doesn't mean that if you are in Ghana, you're going to suffer. Like as you're in Ghana, because you're in Ghana, you're suffering by heart or by default. That's your okay. Selassie, your hand is up. Please unmute and speak. Selassie.
Okay, so hi.
Hi.
Hi, please can you hear me?
Yes, please, we can.
Okay, so being in Ghana doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to suffer. And this topic is relevant to me because I may or may not have moved into or out of the country because I was a baby by then, so I'm not so sure. But brain drain in Ghana, like, is caused by various factors. So I think some of them include the limited job opportunities, the better prospects, the higher salaries, and the way people outside have access to advanced technology. Because it's important for Ghana to create that environment that like will nurture young people so that they will have something to look up to. I hope you get what I'm saying.
Do you hear me?
Yeah. Please, you hear what I said?
Yes, please. I completely agree with you. You like, as in, there's no
it's like when you get a baby a toy, you see, the baby will obviously like it because like it's a shiny new toy. But then eventually, when you get when they see something newer, then the minutes or the second they see a different toy, they are going to want to have that, and that's what's happening to the youth in Ghana right now, or most people, because everybody wants that shiny toy. Everybody wants to have that kind of comfort, growth. Yeah, so I think that's why people are jackpying too much. But then if we have like people who can work towards creating that environment that will keep like the people with talents engaged and motivated, then we can all contribute to the country's growth. Yeah, that's what I have to say.
Thank you so much. You've literally summarized everything we are coming to talk about here. But then I want to raise a comment Annette said. She said she has not left the country yet, but the pressure the pressure to move increases every day. I want to ask, do you think the pressure is coming from inside, like within the country, or is coming predominantly from outside? Because as Melissa mentioned, she faced pressure from her relatives outside, like asking her to come to get school outside. But then what do you think that there's also this sort of pressure within the country to leave? As in, like, there's no sort of, community that is trying to hold us back and like develop the country, but like everything is just right now, let's go, I'm asking, do you think that there's pressure from within Ghana? Yes, please, Kwesi, you can unmute and talk.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Yes, I think the pressure is generated internally.
Okay.
Even with the your friend that you talked about, right? Even with their circumstance, the family member was Ghanaian, so we can term it as internal. Now, the reason I say it's internal, nobody needs to come and tell you to move from Ghana before you decide to move, because the system has been so, should I say, perverted or corrupted that no matter how hard you try in the country, your efforts are all going to waste.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Seems like, for example, there are people who have finished school for 5-10 years and they are still in the country, still trying to hustle to get jobs, to try and start businesses. Every time they try, it fails. I mean, people have tried to start businesses and have been suffocated with taxes and all other stuff.
Yeah.
So the system itself, the system that our leaders have built, right, or have formed it in, does not allow us to feel comfortable staying in our country, because we cannot prosper when we do. Yeah, so that's my take on it.
Thank you so much, Kwesi. I really like how you hit on the role that the government has to play, like the role. So it's not only us, like it's not us that we just want to leave. There's external factors that come into play. So we are going to move straight into the presentation. If you have any question, any submission anytime, please feel free to raise your hand. We are here to talk it out. This is basically like your space to vent, to talk everything out. Okay, so let's move on. So we are your presentators, we are your moderators. Sorry, my name is Araba A, and I'm here with Prince Obeng Asamoah again. I'm going to be showing you a video shortly, but then can we all see what's on the screen now? Give me a reaction, give me something to show that you're here. Come on, I want to see your reactions. I want to see something. Okay, Alexander, you can see it. So I'm going to read it out. It says, Otumfuo Nana Osei II has appealed to graduates not to leave the country in search of greener pastures. And I'm going to play the video. Then I want you to tell me what you think about it, okay? Okay.
Even though we had gone through the tertiary university here before we went there. So the people here...
Okay. So I'm playing it again, okay?
With all due respect, on this topic, I've lived abroad before, where we worked in restaurants and all those things, even though we had gone through the tertiary university here before we went there. So the people here are much better than living in abroad, and we have to be honest with ourselves, because graduates and all that, people qualified and not getting the work they want to do because they are taken to hospitals to clean and all those things. Whilst you are here, we accord you all the respect and dignity as a lecturer, as a professor, as everything. So please, let's stay here and work.
One more time, I'm playing it. Final time.
With all due respect, on this topic, I've lived abroad before, where we worked in restaurants and all those things, even though we had gone through the tertiary university here before we went there. So the people here are much better than living in abroad, and we have to be honest with ourselves. Because graduates and all that, people qualified and not getting the work they want to do because they are sticking to hospitals to clean and all those things. Whilst you're here, we accord you all the respect and dignity as a lecturer, as a professor, as everything. So please, let's stay here and work. With all due
Okay. Please, what do you think
With all
about
due
the
respect, on
video?
this topic,
What do you think about what the Otunfo was saying? Alexander, please, you have the floor. Please unmute and talk.
All right. So I have a lot to share on this, but I'll try to be as brief as possible.
Yes, please.
See, he makes this juxtaposition about how people come to the United States. Personally, I'm in the United States right now.
Okay.
People come to the United States and they come to work, come to do odd jobs to get money, and sort of like they don't recognize your degree, you lose your dignity.
Yeah.
And the first thing you should examine is why. Why do people choose to leave their dignity behind and then come to the States to undertake such menial jobs, quote unquote, and then degrade themselves in the process, right? Why would somebody choose? Because it is one thing that is inherent about man. Man always has this pride or dignity that they wish to uphold. So if a man
can
is
you
willing
please
to
mute for us? Ifri, I'm sorry to cut you, Alex. We are getting
no problem.
a feedback from you, Ifri. Thank you. Alexander, please continue. You can.
Yes, so if man is willing to leave behind that dignity, that prestige, and then take up a lower, quote unquote, a lower image, you must examine the why. So I'll come back to that. But then let me also make this point. The people that come into or go to other countries to do odd jobs, one of the main motivations is money. Now, sebi, let me say this in three. Sebi, so we trip on Kosia. Like, I mean, we've been hearing that saying that people go to Dubai to no trip on Kose, right? But they make money more than the professors and the people that are in the country that have this so-called dignity and prestige, right? Because every time our professors or our lecturers are going on strike because they are not being paid well enough, every time our health workers are going on strike because their working conditions are not good. So somebody just said, we won't use dignity to buy food. If you are starving, if you are suffering in the country and you want to just uphold this image of dignity, then what is that dignity worth, right? If you are not able to take care of your family. So now back to the why. The why is basically the same problem that I highlighted earlier, which is the system is not facilitating the growth of the people, both mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, which spiritually, yes, and financially, which is a key aspect for man. Man always needs to feel secure financially, physically. And if some of these needs are not met, they will obviously seek for these needs to be met somewhere else. They wouldn't stay and suffer.
Yeah.
So we need to address those problems, make sure that our people are feeling secure both mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, and all the ways that they need to feel secure to be able to stay in the country. You can't just tell us to stay like that. Right?
Yeah. But I want to speak to something you said about them basically creating a space where we can excel and grow spiritually, like all of that. I want to ask, because someone sent me a private message, they are saying that why do we always have to resort to going to the government? Why can't we do things on our own? As in, they are talking about entrepreneurship, they are talking about innovation. Like for us as a youth, why can't we do things for ourselves? They are saying, why do we always rely on the government or on the elders, basically? Please, do you have anything to say about that? The floor is open. Just raise your hand and then I'll give you the floor. Okay, Alex, and then go again.
since I'm the one that brought the comments, let me address it in this way. So yes, I mean we rely a lot as Africans. We rely too much on our government and our leaders to provide things for us, which shouldn't be the case. But here in this case, I'm talking about the system itself, right? The system itself is not allowing the youth to bring out their entrepreneurship ideas, to develop them adequately. I add adequately because some may be able to develop to some extent, right? But the system that the elders have created, right, is not allowing or it's not facilitating that growth. So if you try and try and try and try and try, like you keep on putting in effort and then you realize that your effort is being wasted. It's not that you are not trying. It's not that you are not trying to do stuff on your own, but the effort that you keep putting in keep getting wasted by the system, right? You would obviously see a better system that would help you with little effort.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you so much, Alex. Zoom user, please let us know your name and then what you think. You can unmute and speak. The floor is yours. Zoom user.
Hi, I didn't realize that my name wasn't put in there, but hi, my name is Eseni.
Hi, Eseni.
And I would like to answer the question that was sent to you privately about why we are always relying on the government to create jobs. Why don't we just go out there and start our own thing? One thing that I have come to realize, especially during the Occupy Jilobi protest that happened recently, was that the Ghanaian youth are not lazy. Young people in Ghana, university graduates, even those who haven't gone to school, but as long as they are the youth, they aren't lazy people. The Ghanaians, we are hustling. Like a lot of Ghanaians are hustling in this Ghana to try and make ends meet for themselves. And I know for a fact that the Ghanaian youth have very bright ideas. I mean, just earlier this year and a little bit of last year on Twitter, I saw a lot of news about how so many businesses were being closed down because they were unable to afford the necessary goods that they needed to run their businesses. Most of these were restaurants. And this is due to the fact that, I mean, prices are rising so quickly, like prices are going up so quickly, taxes are hitting the businesses, and yet very little profit is being made. So I think it would be very unfair to say that why aren't we just coming out to create our own businesses and do things for ourselves? Why are we always relying on the government? I don't think it's a very fair statement to make. If the government is mismanaging resources and not using those resources to channel into like the job sector to create opportunities for the young people to work. And also, mind you, not everybody can be an entrepreneur. Not everybody has the interest to be a business owner. Not everybody has the skill to be a business owner. Some people work better in certain sectors as an employee of somebody or an employee somewhere. So I think it would be very unfair to say that we are relying too much on the government to give us jobs. We can just get up and create our own jobs when taxes are outrageously the job for us. The system isn't designed to make us prosper. How are we going to prosper in a land that isn't yielding anything? So when it comes down to it comes down to the government. If the laws are being misused, then there's really nothing that is going to work in the country. We can try as hard as we want, or we can create all the businesses that we want. But if the system isn't designed to help us prosper, then really not much is going to come out of it. And that's why people are leaving the country to other places where they know that their hard work will be seen and they will get profits for their hard work.
Thank you so much. Wow, I love everything you said. Okay, Selassie, you can unmute and speak. You have the floor. Let's go.
Okay, please, I want to ask Esene if she's in the country right now.
Please, I'm in the country, okay?
Okay. So to add to what you said about the people in Ghana not getting paid enough. It's very true. And as we speak, I don't know if it has changed, but then the national service personnel are supposed to be paid 23rd, according to, I don't know if it's like it's not true, but then that's what I was told. But I can't relate to. But then as of now, they've not been paid, and it's looking like it's going to be a trend because last year so that's how it started. And like this is something that the government can change, if because it's not like they don't have the resources or they don't have money, because the money is there, but then it's just a matter of like mismanagement, as she said. Yeah, I just wanted to add that.
Thank you so much. Alexander again. Okay, let's go.
I'm so sorry I keep coming back. I'm just
Don't
very
worry.
passionate about this
This
issue.
is why we are here.
Yeah. So I know someone who owns a business in Ghana, right? He owns a hospital.
Okay,
And
wonderful. A whole hospital.
that hospital,
Oh,
yeah, like a clinic more or less.
okay.
And that hospital is enrolled on the National Health Insurance Scheme, right? So when people
Okay.
come with NHIS, they are supposed to take the NHIS. The government would reimburse them with the money for the drugs. Now, they can go a whole year, not receiving a single payment for any drug that has been issued in the hospital. Right. So if such a hospital closes down, do you think it's the fault of the entrepreneur, or he wasn't trying hard enough? Like, what capital does the government expect this man to use to go and get more drugs to come and continue his business, or to come and continue his job? Right?
Yeah.
If they are not paying him the money that he needs to, because he also has creditors. He also has people that he has to, like, he gets the drugs from someone, he has to pay that person. So it is very expensive to do business in Ghana. That is the truth.
Yeah.
Right? It is very expensive. Unless you know the right hands to, you will suffer in business. That's the truth. Like, especially if it's a business of a large scale. Right? Thank you.
Oh, okay. It looks like we've lost Alexander for now. I believe he'll be joining us soon enough. Let me read a few comments from the comment section. Let's see. So Annette says, I think instead of reliance, we can say we seek support from our leaders. Also, like Alexander said, the system has been set up not to encourage us, but to suffocate us. To suffocate. It's a very interesting submission from Antoinette. Also, she also says that who else is supposed to support us, the youth, if not the government? Ikea Amposa says we can't all be entrepreneurs. She agrees. SNA, I think she agrees with you. Alexander is talking about taxes again. James Lamte says government should be an enabler of every sector of a country's economy. Wow. I think this is actually true, because if we are supposed to grow the country as we want to, we need to have a community. We need to have a sense of support from the government, because they are like in charge of the whole thing. We'll come back to that. Annette says misplaced priorities. Nathaniel Do says national service, your first pay will come after 4 months. So, wow. We pray that doesn't happen. We pray that you guys get paid. Hospitals don't give drugs for NHIS anymore, actually. Wow. So are we saying that the NHIS scheme on its own is not feasible? Is it actually not running? Is that what I'm hearing? Please let me know in the comment section. You can raise your hand if you have anything to say. Melissa, yes, please unmute and let us know.
Yeah, so for NHIS, it's now just consultation. Like, they don't give drugs anymore. Yeah.
Wow.
Just a consultation. Yeah.
And does the government reimburse you, like the hospital, for that consultation period? Do you know anything about that? Or
I think since the NHIS is supposed to run at a certain level, and the government owes so many hospitals so much money for their drugs, so like they're just done with the government at this point. So they do that for consultation. But I only know some private hospitals that do not take NHIS. Like they'll be like, nah, like they are not going to, because to get their money anytime soon. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Salati again says, please, I think Prof should let us experience for ourselves. He says he shouldn't say he has been there, so should Salati, we'll take it up with Prof. He should let all of us experience that. Alexander, okay, you're back. You say it takes a while. It does take a while for the NHIS, right? Okay, let's move on. There's so much for us to talk about, and then we'll get back into the conversation at hand. So, we want to understand brain drain. Hashtag live outside, as we want to call it. And then we want to talk about what do you think is the motivation of Ghanaian youth to leave the country? Before this session, we put out a Google form and we're basically asking you, what do you think is the motivation for Ghanaian youth to leave the country? So I'm just going to share a few of the replies. And then, yeah. So someone said there's no hope in Ghana. If you relate to any of these, please send a reaction. We need the reactions, man. Someone says, I believe Ghana can develop and I must be a part of that change. Wow, whoever said that, please, you answer. You really answer. The leaders are allowing only a select group of people to succeed. I feel like this is very controversial. So if you have anything to say about this, please let me know that the leaders are allowing only a select group of people to succeed. I feel like it's very controversial because it's like we're coming from a standpoint of saying that they are not helping anyone and now we are saying they're helping only a select group of people. It's a bit controversial. So can we go over that? Someone said the system isn't working. Wow. Beautiful. They said, it has always been my dream to leave the country. Please, is it anyone here? Like, is it your dream to leave the country? Please let me know. Hubert, is it your dream to leave the country? Nathaniel, is that your dream to just, get the opportunity to leave the country? Kindly let me know. Okay, this from someone.
Is that your dream too?
Please, who is asking, Kojo? It's not my dream to leave the country, but I feel like I can relate with everything you've said so far that it looks like we don't have an environment that we can grow in, and I have dreams, but I don't want to leave the country and stay there. I want to leave and come back and work. Like, we'll get back to that. Hubert, please share your thoughts with us. You have the floor.
Thank you very much. You see, just as I was about to speak, you just mentioned what I wanted to say, that even if I want to leave, I might just step out there, go and study and come back to also make a change here. Yeah. So, but it's not my dream to leave, as in I don't want to come back, but I really want to come back and make a difference here. Thank you.
Yeah, so you said that you believe Ghana can develop and you will be part of the change, or you didn't say that one? Okay.
I agree with the person who wrote it, but I wasn't around there.
Okay. Someone also said Ghana is a peaceful and fun place with money. Okay. I'm sure they were referencing the December chilling. Someone also said Ghana is really suffering economically. I want to raise a topic on this particular point because if you've noticed, there are actually a lot of brands, especially on Instagram, that I see are growing. Something like their local brands, something like Tag. I don't know, for the girls that know Tag, see that they are really growing. Something like she was here. Oh, she makes clothes, very nice clothes. Like, you see that they are really growing. So then is it really that Ghana is suffering economically, or like, what are your thoughts on this particular point? Because you see that a lot of businesses are actually growing in this time. So what are your thoughts on this point? Please raise your hand or I'll just mention your name. Raise your hand. Let me know what you think. Kojo, do you want to take this on? Or Alex? Let me check the card. Okay. SNA says, hey, where's the money, please? Asking for a friend. Alexander says the government hasn't gotten to them yet. Give it time. Alex, please, I want you to expatiate on this. What do you mean they should give them time? What do you mean?
Oh,
Please.
so I mean, I don't know. Do you know the motivation behind the e-levy?
No,
The
can you please
motivation
tell me?
behind e-levy was people are being okay. So the motivation behind e-levy was people are doing businesses online and transacting with Momo, and they cannot tax that money. So let's find a way to tax it, right? And then that was the brainchild of e-levy, right? I mean, and if you are conducting business, obviously you have to pay tax. So
Yeah.
that, like, I mean, but then the manner in which they implemented it was very bad. The implementation was poor, right?
Yeah.
So basically the e-levy was just a way for them to find like entry into this online business domain, right?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it didn't get the reach or it didn't get the acceptance that they wanted to. You let them sit down and craft their evil plans and come back again. You see, they will show you Pepe.
Hey, wow. God, please. Can you?
Our leaders are wicked. Oh, see, like
Wow.
no, like honestly, it takes a certain level of wickedness to be able to sit back and either watch or condone or involve yourself in the kind of corruption that is going on in the government right now. Honestly,
Yeah. Okay.
like
Wow.
as part of it. Like it takes a certain kind of like this is why
eh?
we cannot expect change we cannot expect change from just anyone. It has to we Christians have to rise up and take positions of power, because unless the influence of God, this system will not change.
Yeah. Wow. God, please, you type something. I want to know if you can share. I want to hear your voice, but if not, you can send me a text and I'll read it out. So, God, if you can unmute and share, I would really appreciate that, because I think you have more to say. We respect the points you made in the chats. If you can hear me, God, kindly unmute and okay, he's in a cab, so he will get back to us. So God says that there are loopholes in diverse areas. Retrospectively, I think the main problem is not being economically deficient, but the complexities in figuring out how to balance the economy. I think economy, right? Please correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's a very, very bold point, because it's true. Like, as a country where, looking at how the Europeans came to Ghana, they came because we literally had gold on the shores. Okay, SNL, you want to speak? So SNL, I'll give you the floor right now, and then we'll go back to God. Please unmute and share.
Hi. So I wanted to comment on the question that you asked, where you said that like businesses like Tag, how are they so thriving in this kind of economy? And personally, I feel like businesses like Tag and those other businesses that seem to be doing well, I guess they have found a way to stay relevant regardless of the circumstances that are happening in the country. Because we know that Tag has come out or has branded themselves to be that Ghanaian business that makes comfortable, should I say, luxury slippers for ladies. Honestly, I don't know any other business that has portrayed themselves or that has come out with such a business idea. Because if you're thinking of Ghanaian made slippers for ladies, something comfortable, something classy, the first thought that will come to your mind is Tag. So they've built themselves to stay relevant in this in the country that way, because ladies are always going to need slippers, ladies are always going to need footwear, and they've done well to create very beautiful designs that are always appealing to us. Also, we don't know the source of the money that's being pumped into their business. We don't know where they acquire their resources from, but I feel like it's like there are always going to be those businesses that tend to, they look like they are rising above everything that's going on. We don't know their business strategy. We don't know how they're conducting their business internally. But it's not everybody, not every business has the the advantage of succeeding regardless of the economic situations that is in the country. So I think that it's just because one or two of some few businesses seem to be thriving regardless of the economic hardship, it doesn't mean that, well, we can now turn around and say that means there's money in the system, because look at businesses like Tag and such and such. Businesses like Tag, their market is not only in Ghana, they have customers beyond the shores of Ghana. So they have a very large target audience, you understand. But when it comes down to it, local businesses are still suffering because economic hardship is very, very real.
Thank you so much. I'll let God speak, then we'll move to the next slide. God, you have the floor now.
Okay. Hello, guys. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Okay, so with respect to my point I raised, I think the problem here is not being economically deficient, but then our problem is that we are finding it difficult to understand the nuances or the complexities with respect to economy. It looks like we haven't still figured out how to stand, where to go from the right people to fix in, and the people that are good or are suitable for economical development. So I think the problem has to do with how to understand what the economy is and how to go from there. Because if we do not understand the basis of everything with respect to economy, how to build the economy, what is involved in the economy, that's the inclusion of economy, what we should do as a developing country, then we will still be where we are. Because in order to be economically top-notch, we have to understand the basics. So I feel that the problem is understanding the theoretical basis with respect to the economy and economical development. It's not really about how economically deficient we are as a country, but then our failure to understand what the economy is or the inclusion of the economy. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. Listen, do you want to speak again, or it's from the last time so that we can move on?
Oh no, I have nothing further to add. I understand everything he's saying, and I think it makes sense.
Okay, thank you. The last point is that doctors are underpaid and overworked. If you have any doctors on this forum, please. My buddy here is a doctor, so I would like her to speak on that. So, Ajwa, if you are on the call, please speak to that. Okay, Alexander, you have the floor. Alex, you have the floor.
Okay, so I'll briefly comment on the doctor thing. I actually wanted to address the overall question, but then your friend can comment on the doctor thing, and then I'll come back to that.
You have the floor now, so just share on that, and then
Sure. So I have two family members who are medical doctors, right? And my sister in particular recently graduated from medical school in 2019. She's been working for a while. Like in COVID, right? When medical officials were risking their lives to serve and to like all that they were doing on the front lines, right? And during this time, things were hard. These people were being given, because they were house officers and stuff, their pay was like, I don't know how to, because it was, how can you be paying them this much when they are on the front lines every day, 24/7, risking their lives?
Like they were paying them a lot, or they weren't paying them enough?
They weren't paying them enough, at least from my point of view. Because, and if you compare the average salary of a doctor in Ghana to the average salary of doctors in the world, it is far below, right? Because the role that they play is very important, right? So I do think doctors are underpaid. They used to be paid well. I remember a time where my dad would tell me that they had some allowances that supplemented their pay, but those allowances were taken out, and it seems like it's been down the hill ever since, right?
Okay. Thank you
And
so
then,
much for that, Alex.
yeah.
Do you have more to
So,
say?
yeah, I think on the general view of the whole thing, is the motivation of Ghanaian youth to leave the country. I think each person has a different view, but I just want to comment that we should not run away from the problem, right? Like
Yeah.
if our motivation is to run away, nobody will come and solve it for us. One of my friends told me that at this point in Ghana, the way everybody is quote unquote running away, like that when the in like 2025, there will be nobody left in the country. When they are leaving, they should give the keys to Cote d'Ivoire to keep the nation for us, because everybody wants to leave. But I don't think that is the solution, right?
Yeah.
Like the second, I really believe in the second point that was made, that Ghana, we must be part of the change, right? Our goal should not be to leave and find prosperity for ourselves alone, especially as Christians, but our goal should be to try and contribute in any way that we can to the development of the nation. Sometimes that requires that you travel outside to get some expertise and come back to your country and come and help. Sometimes it requires you to stay. So it's just a matter of examining the options and then making the right decision.
Okay. Thank you very much. You've said so much. I'm moving on to the next slide, and then I'm going to hand over to Prince Obeng to speak on the negative effects of immigration on Ghana. So, Prince, kindly take over. Prince, it looks like you're muted. I can't
Thank you, Araba. Thank you, Araba. Like you have done so much in terms of mobilizing and leading the discussion. I'm proud of you. I also want to say that there's a prize for people who actually contribute. So those who are behind and typing in the comment section, in this section, try and get your pass closely. And thank you very much. So I would want to move straight to the effect of people leaving the country on our country. There is a phenomenon that we all are aware of, how people are living in and out and all. And as we discussed or asked people about it, we could see that there's lots of skilled workforce, family separation, shortage of medical personnel, no innovation, no accountability and all. I want to start from the no accountability. We all say the youth are the future, right? The youth are the brain behind the driving the economy and all. So if the youth are leaving the country, who is going to push those people who are in a position to work to be accountable? Who is going to drive them? Just look at Occupy Jolobi House. Majority of the people, or the average age was 30. Just imagine all these people out of this country. We'll get a situation whereby the people who are supposed to be held accountable will not be held accountable because our mothers and fathers who are supposed to do that are sort of aged, or their voices doesn't reach most of the part of the world, or let me say they're not so much active on social media, and we are more active on social media. So if we are leaving the country today, I'm Jakpa, or we are going to have this kind of issue continue, because we all want to see change. We all want to see a situation whereby there is progress. But then who is going to drive the progress? Who is going to lead the progress? It's our leaders. It's the people who are in position. It's ourselves. So if the workforce that's supposed to drive these leaders on the right path are leaving, who's going to hold them accountable? Yes, you can be outside and push change, but then just imagine the Occupy Jolobi House, the people who are in outside, who are outside the country, the kind of demonstration they held in their various countries. How much effect did they have on the country as compared to the kind of effect it had on country when people did it internally? Just look at Occupy Ghana during 2016. It has so much effect that it made the previous government lose election. Just look at our medical doctors. When they said they were going to lay down their tools, it didn't take much for the government to do all these things. So if we are saying that one of the major effects of people leaving the country, I think one of them will be limited accountability, or there will be slow energy in terms of driving the people to be accountable. The second is innovation. See, if I was in Kenya system, to be precise, I mean all the tech people here, shout out to you, the best investor in Ghana. If you come to tech and you see the kind of innovations and ideas people have on board there, And to maneuver with that, as at this point in our life, we still go through issues in this country. There's a lot of intellectuals who are within the country, but for opportunities. So if all these people are living day in, day out, just imagine the kind of situation to have in our country. Just imagine the kind of deficiencies we have in our health system. Just imagine the kind of deficiencies we have in our economies. Just imagine 30% of people who write ACE, ICE, leave the country to practice accounting elsewhere. Just imagine the accounting aspect of business in the country. There will be no innovation. You understand? So I think it's called for action. And I think people are speaking so much about the medical personnel and the workforce. But one of the main pillars of society is the family. Traveling or leaving the country has a lot of family issues with regards to people to move family culture, the socialization. You know how we do our education. Our education is in twofold, the family part and the school part. So just imagine most of us living outside the country. Who is going to transfer our identity onto the next generation? And I think at this point, I would call on people on the space to give me insight on some of the issues to think is related to people living out of the country excessively. So if you're on the call, you can raise up your hands and we would allow you to speak.
Hello, Ayiah and Prince. Please, you have the floor.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Araba and Prince, for this wonderful opportunity for us to talk about some pressing needs, like there's some pressing issues like this. I've been listening for a while, and I've agreed with some of the things that have been said. Some I don't think I completely agree, but I would say that with the family aspect, I think almost every family in Ghana has somebody who has left recently, and it's taking a toll on how we relate, because you think that we have phones and there's FaceTime and you can communicate easily, but there's something about having a presence. There's something about having the person talk to you in physically. So I think that's one of the things that I agree with when it comes to the negative effects of immigration on Ghana. But as to the loss of skilled workforce and no innovation and things, let me play the devil's advocate here. Don't you think that if people leave, like more people leave the country, there'll be more space for people to also thrive, like those who are left behind to thrive? I'm just playing the devil's advocate here, but yeah, thank you guys for the opportunity to listen in.
Ayiah, I would want to give a direct response to say that yes, it's true, but then have you also realized that the number of people who also live are these people who are recent graduates or the young ones, and if that situation is going to follow, then who is going to be innovative? Because innovation takes time. Me too. James, please, can you unmute and talk?
All right, am I being heard?
Yes, please.
Hello,
we can
guys.
hear you.
All right, good afternoon to
Yes, please, we can
all
hear
of
you.
you. And I must say, I'm very privileged to be part of this space at this point in time. Scott, I'm very proud, and Araba too. I'm very happy for you guys organizing this. Okay, well, personally, I think this whole thing is an issue of how people feel valued in the country. Value at the end of the day is what people expect to be leaving the table with. So I'm a football fan, and I follow the football landscape, especially in our country, and it's a big problem. Likewise, the same situation happening in the health sector is also the same thing in our sports area. People are leaving Ghana to all kinds of countries around the world just because the moment they leave the shores of Ghana, they are assured of salaries in dollars. And for all you know, these people aren't that educated. The only means that which they can change their family lives with is by their trade they apply, and that's football. So people don't mind. people travel to Ethiopia. I mean, Ethiopia is not any footballing nation better than Ghana, but players are traveling there because they know they are short of $1 or I mean $1,000 if you leave the country, and it's a big problem because this is not making us value the system we have. It's not making us improve upon what we want, and it's the same crisis over and over and over. And true being told, leadership has failed us. They failed us big time. I'm sure you guys heard of this whole money sharing during the Black Stars qualification to the World Cup. This amount of money that people took for no work done. If these clubs are being channeled
Yes, I
into
heard it.
grassroots football, into clubs, and into the whole system, the whole ecosystem of our footballing economy, we will be far better off. So personally, I think we like leaders in this country should take it upon themselves to try and make value, like try and make their citizens feel valued in the system. Because at the end of the day, we all want to make our lives better for us. So if we don't find ourselves in spaces or in areas that we are not feel like there is no value being added to our lives, what is the point being there? And for all these reasons, the value is outside the shores of the country. So wherever people find that value and they think they are okay, they will move to that place. So yeah, it's a thing that our leadership should really take seriously. Yeah, so that's my submission.
Thank you so much, Sir James. I'm so proud of your answer, and it's great hearing you. Without wasting much time, I want to go on the next slide. I have seen Alexander, but let's pick the next slide so that we come for Alexander. Thank you. Okay, so at this point, I think we would have to ask the question: if we have our people leaving the country to work and practice outside the world, is there a way we can have positive impact from them within our country? Is there any positive effect from our people leaving our country? And I will open the mic for people to share their thoughts. But what we came up is we gain remittance as a country. There is innovation and entrepreneurship through online businesses, and our people also become ambassadors of our culture. And I think that's true because wherever you go, you represent an identity. And if you're a Ghanaian, you represent Ghana. So please, the floor is open. I'll take Alexander because his hands have been up for a long time. Alex.
Thank you very much. I was going to say that the negative effects of the negative effect of brain drain are undeniable on the country, right? The negative effects are undeniable. So all of that we agree is going to affect us as a nation negatively, and that is why we also need to be conscious of we need to be conscious of the brain drain that is happening and address that issue. But then the positive effects of immigration, like you're talking about, if we all decide, right, that we are going, we are leaving our country, but we will be back. If the purpose of our leaving the country is to better ourselves and come back and contribute to the society at large, then we will see these positive effects and even more than what we expect. So the emphasis, I think, if the youth want to leave, they can leave, but we should make it a place that is desirable for the youth to return to, right? And so that we can see all of these positive effects, because in people emigrating to other countries or immigrating to other countries, we find that they bring in foreign currency. Like somebody mentioned that Ghana is nice if you have money. And it's true. That is why almost everybody, like a lot of people in diaspora, come to Ghana in December to come and chill, just to come and chill, because Ghana is a nice place to have. It's a nice place to be. So if we keep on making our country attractive to the youth, attractive to the people that immigrate out of it, right, they would come back and bring back all these innovation and entrepreneurship. They would go out there and be ambassadors, and the remittances, of course, will be assured of them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Alex, I can't agree with you less. And Benedict, please, the mic is yours.
Okay, thank you, Scott and Araba. Okay, I also agree that there are positives with regards to immigration if we decide to come back. And I'll use a very classic example of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. You see, when he left to go and study, and then afterwards he came back and then decided to come and push for independence. But that was not all. Looking at the kind of like ideas had he had learned when he went outside, when he came to Ghana and then he helped us gain independence, his ideas or the policies he decided to pursue were towards achieving certain things that he had seen that like we as a country were lacking, but in other jurisdictions were there. Another example is in sports. So you look at players like Inaki Williams and co, and we hear that now and then we want to convince people, Ghanaians who are born outside, to come and play for Ghana. And this the one positive is that like with these players, looking at the standard of football they play, it will like they improve like the national team as a whole. Instead of depending on like there are normal boys who are also playing outside but are not playing at the level at that these people are playing at. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I think I'll add up to your point that even Sadio Mane has built hospital in his country of residence, and he has also constructed a road within his area. And these are some of the positives we can derive. I would give the mic to Nadu Adiko.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone, and a privilege to be on the call. I just want to, before I answer the question, I think that
Hello, Nadu, please. We can't hear you well. Can you increase your...
Hey, and you are me.
Keith, am I audible now? So,
Please, no.
yeah, hello, fellow Prince. Please,
I
am
think
I
you will take
audible?
Nadu later. Yeah, you're audible. We can hear you. You can talk.
Thank you. So I was saying that someone who contributed earlier made a point that if the country is made more attractive, perhaps the youth will stay or they would even be encouraged to come back. But I want to also throw in a thought that are we asking ourselves that why are some of these countries making it should I say attractive or very easy for young people to go out, for instance, making scholarships available and very attractive prices. Nobody does certain things without a reason behind it. And if we are asking that we are going to come back or we would consider coming back for people who go out, when the country is made attractive, who is going to make it attractive? I think until we realize that some of these things too are equally our responsibility, definitely you are looking out for yourself and you want to improve things. But we also have to understand that making our country attractive or a place where people would desire to come is also a personal responsibility as youth or as Ghanaians. Yes, I wanted to add that.
That's powerful. That's powerful. I didn't think that way, but it's true that have we asked ourselves what are some of the things we can do to make our country attractive? It's a question that we have to come back to it to answer. But then before that, we take Nathaniel. Nathaniel, please, the floor is...
All right. So, as Nadu was saying, she was like, other countries have, you know, they have a platform of making their country attractive for others to come. So, a couple of days
Nathaniel, you are muted. Please, can you check your mic? I think we lost Nathaniel. Until that, we go to the next slide. So when he comes, we have spoken. Frustrations have the leadership plus the challenges we face within our country and without being solution. What are some of the practical solutions that we can use to address some of these issues? Personally, that's individual, not on a national level. Individually, that's in the sense that we can be able to leverage the positive impact of people traveling and also control the system in our country. So I will still open the mic for people to talk. If you have any idea, please kindly raise up your hands. Alex, please, you can talk.
Okay. So I think before we even start looking at innovative ways to find solutions, the most critical thing we need to do is we need to take an introspective look at ourselves, right? Because if we know ourselves as a continent, as a country, as a people, as individuals better, then we can understand the problem at hand, how to face the problem. If from my interactions with the few white people that I have met here, right, they are very, very self-aware. They are aware of what they can't do, what they can do, and they work towards it, right? Our leaders lack that self-awareness. That is one. They lack that self-awareness, and they have no interest in even knowing where the boundaries of the problem are. To innovate, you need to know where the boundaries of the problem are. Like, that is one key thing any good researcher will tell you, right? That to do research and to innovate, you need to find what is the limit of the current existing technology or the current existing solution, and how can we push past it. So as a nation, as a continent, as a people, we need to be more introspective, know where we are, where we stand, so that we know how to improve, right? And without taking this introspective look, we would never progress. That is it from me.
The point I was making was that they've opened their borders, the foreign countries have opened their borders to immigrants to come and work for money. And this kind of work is not like you are going there and they are going to give you first class work. Maybe you enter straight and they'll give you a job in management or something. Back in the day, the countries we know as first world countries, the US and UK and all that, they were all built on slaves. So, the immigrants are running there looking for greener pastures. And when they get there, they realize that it's the manual jobs. And then they'll take it like that because, so far as they're earning a couple of dollars, when they come back, they know that they're better off than most of us here. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. But one thing that has been running through is inadequate opportunities within our country itself. How do we navigate this path? Because the opportunities here are limited. How do we create opportunities for our people at our level, at the national level, at the district level? What do we do? I want people to talk. People are saying a lot of things in the comment section. Araba.
Scott, please, can you come again? I didn't quite catch that.
I was seeing a lot of comments in the comment section, but if you see some, please kindly raise my attention so that you read them so that we discuss them. Thank you. All right, so as I was saying, we seem to have limited opportunities. Even where I work, for instance, when I got there, my immediate boss told me that I'm lucky. Why? Because they made a decision not to take any intern anymore. Why? Because they feel like their budget has exceeded its limits and they can't take interns anymore. How do we create opportunities for our people, whether digitally, whether manually? How do we create opportunities. And I want us to bring our ideas about, because it's like we are all concerned about the issue happening here, the comparison between outside and in. What can we do in our levels as we are growing up to create opportunities? Nathaniel, I've seen your hand up. Do you still want to talk?
I feel like there are employment opportunities, but it's there a couple of people who are at the top that limits the employment opportunities. Let me use an example. Okay, so
I think we have Nathaniel. Oh, sorry about that. Nora, please, do you want to talk? Nathaniel, are you back?
Okay, I think we will give the floor to Gad. Nathaniel, please send me a message when you are sure that your connection is stable. Gad, you have the floor now.
Okay, thank you very much. So the question was, how do we create an opportunity for people, right? If I had the question right.
Yes, please.
I feel that the first step to dealing with things pragmatically is engagement. First of all, there are lots of people that are not really aware of where they have to get to and what to do. Um, for reasons inexplicable, it could be inferiority complex, it could be um, they haven't been really exposed to certain opportunities. Probably they don't really understand what it means to fuse into the work sector, into doing something to at least um, stand well. So I feel the first step to do is to engage the people. Um, you should. The first step is to engage the people. If you want to really create a wide opportunity for people to come on board, the first step is engagement. They first need to understand what it means by where they are heading to and the opportunities that are made there for them. So the first step for our country, in order to get to where we have to get to, is engagement. If we do not engage the people, we cannot get to that level of ascendancy. So I think that's my personal view on that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Engagement is something we lack in our country. And I think it's very important to engage the people we are going to give solutions to. So we'll move on to the next slide to discuss some practical questions, and we will move. Who remember these favorite schools? Is there not a course? People living out of the country day in, day out, is there not a course? So during our survey, we had some questions and we want to address them here. The first question is, what practical ways can we model those in diaspora to come back to help develop our country or our nation? And this question, when I saw it, if you remember the song, Obi in Kase 24th Kurum, wow, will live in any obra, oh man. You know that song, right? Exactly. If you listen to the lyrics of the song, it's a call to address needs in our villages during those times. And this question comes back to me as that in that form. And this question is: Do you think this brain drain syndrome will ever change? Looking at the fact that they are like in a sense that the Western people are way developed than Ghana, and how soon? The last question is: why does it seem like it's only the younger generation that Jakpa to than I don't think the question was complete, but yeah, I think you guys get it.
Gad, please, you have the floor.
Sorry, I didn't get the question right.
Please, can you repeat the question again?
Hello, please, you are muted though. We can't hear you.
Please, can you hear me? I'm so sorry. Okay, I'll go over it again. I said that we have three main questions on the table right now, which are the practical ways we can motivate those in the diaspora to come back and help us develop our nation, how we would really attack this brain drain syndrome, looking at how developed the other countries are compared to us, and then how soon do we think that's going to happen? And then why does it seem like it's only the younger generation that leaves their countries? Because we have the older people doing that as well. So it's like there's a big focus on only the younger generation. I want us to reflect on one question that you think you would want to answer, and then quickly let's get through these questions and then move on. So if you have any of these questions, any answers to any of these questions, please raise your hand. Let me know in the comment section. Let's do it quick. I think I'll start the discussion on why does it seem like it's only the younger generation that leaves the country, or that Jakpa. If you have any question, if you have any answer to that, please let me know. Yorick, thank you for joining us. Yorick, do you have any answer? Okay, Benedict.
Yes.
Benedict, you have the floor. Please unmute.
Thank you very much.
After Benedict, then Yorick. Thank you very much.
So I think the focus on the young people is that they are seen as the future of the country, and they are the ones who are going to take control of the country when the older people pass. So if they are leaving because they feel that this is not the best place for them, then there should be a cause for alarm. You understand? So that's why I think the focus is more on the young people than the old people, because the old people are more or less they are settled for, and then even though we lose, compared to the young people, are the ones who replenish the old people who leave. Thank you.
Hello?
Please, Yorick, you have the floor.
Yes. Yeah. So I also feel like I believe that the reason why it's like the young people are more in the majority and the emphasis is placed on them is because they are more flexible and they have like more potential. So at the same time, if you compare young people to the old people, most old people already have family here, like they've married, they've established homes and things like that. So in a way, they are sort of forced to come back. But the young people, you are not tied to anyone or anything or any specific job. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. And they have like more room and we are more flexible and more erratic. Like a young person can just come up and say, I'm going to Nigeria, I'm going to hustle. Just like that, because nobody's really holding him down here in Ghana. But then, yeah, it's also a bad thing because then at the same time, if the people with the potential keep leaving, then who is going to stay to make the place better? Then it becomes like a vicious cycle, if you get what I mean.
Yes, please, I do. Thank you very much. God, quickly give us a response and then we move on.
Yes, please. Okay, so to add to this, I think technology is actually playing a pivotal role in our country, and exposure being a subset of technology. It looks like the younger people are much more concerned on the need to get exposed out there, the need to explore, and their vibrancy and efficiency actually pushes them out there. And it looks like the older people are more or less stuck here because you feel that I'm old and then I've developed here, so there's no need to go and explore. So the vibrancy is always on the shoulders of the younger people than the older generation. So it looks like that is the whole disparity between the younger generation and the older generation. And
thank you very much. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry to. Okay, it looks like God, you are done. In the comment section, we have a picture from Noel, and it says that only 5% of the population make 5,000 cedis monthly. 80% of the population earn below 3,000 cedis a month. and 64% of the population is financially stressed. 72% is considered low income. It is from the 2023 Old Mutual Financial Services reports. Wow. Okay. I think we will have to come back to that. Noel says that I doubt I missed this as I joined midway. I think if opportunities exist here, the number of us going abroad will reduce. That's true. Ask yourself, how do we foot rent, utilities, etc.? As the Old Mutual Center reports that 80% earn under 3,000 cedis. Scroll up for previous charts. How do we create opportunities? First, conversations on issues as we face as Africans. We have conversations that lead to action. We have collaborations that exist among us, and it's one of the challenges we have to address because we find it difficult to strategically collaborate. This was from Dixon. Thank you very much, Dixon. It looks like I missed that. Okay, so we are going to move on quickly, right? And then from the Google form we released, this was the feedback we got, that what exactly makes other countries different from Ghana. Some people said that there's better leadership. More people agree that there are more opportunities for those who work outside because there's better governance for various reasons, and that their leadership was better, and then the citizens were patriotic as well. Moving on, we have this report. I don't know if you can see it clearly. Kindly let me know. I think I have to move this down here. Okay. So this is a record number of Ghanaian students studying in America. And this is from 2021 to 2023. So I'd like us to look at what we have on our screens and let's analyze it. Analyze it for just about a minute. I'm giving us a minute to analyze it, and then we'll come back to that, what we think about it. So for just a minute, quickly go through it and let's see. Okay, I think a minute is about up. So please, what do you think about this report? What do you think about this report when you see the number of Ghanaian students? Okay, Alexander.
Yeah. I am one of these statistics, okay. So, and from my interactions with schools, people like recruiters and all of that, right? This statistic should actually reflect the hard work of Africans. And I know many of you may not share this view, but this statistic reflects the hard work of Ghanaians, especially who go to grad school. Because if you have realized, I think since 2020, there has been a slow rise or a sharp increase in the number of people who are going out to grad school. Now, the white man does not just accept you because you are black, right? They don't just accept you because you apply to a school, right? Per their experiences with previous Ghanaians that came over to their institutions, they have realized that the students are hardworking. And so it is good that we can get more students from this country or this institution to come and represent our school as well. Because before I came here, before I'm in the University of Virginia, before I came here, I interacted with a recruiter from Iowa State University. And they said that the number of every Ghanaian that has gone to Iowa State University to pursue their grad study has from their statistics has a very high GPA. Like their performance is very good. So imagine, like, Ghana does not offer, there are some programs that don't offer those specific grad programs. Like for me, for instance, there is no school in Ghana that is doing anything with relation to IC design, right? So you have to look for opportunities elsewhere. But this statistic speaks well to the effort that the students are actually putting in outside the country to better themselves. And it also speaks to the number of people who are willing to leave the country for greener pastures, for better opportunities. So if we are to create those better opportunities in the country, I believe that these statistics would drop. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alexander. Does anyone have any thoughts about this before we move on quickly? Okay, let's move on. So we've come to the end of our presentation, basically, but then I want us to have reflecting on everything we've heard today, reflecting on all the opinions that have been shared. What do you think is a call to action for us as Ghanaian youth, whether you're in the country or outside of the country? What do you think, aside or outside the scope of the government, because we can't really control them? We can, but what do you think we can do as Ghanaian youth to combat everything that we've said here, to actually implement everything we've said here? Kindly let me know. If you are going to text it in the chat section, I'm waiting for you. Okay. Before I come to Alex, please hold on for me. From the chat section, it says Noel says, my sister read nursing in one uni in USA and did a 4.0. So imagine if she stayed, what she'd have made, maybe a 3.0. Thank you for that very wonderful submission, Noel. Alex again, wow. Okay, Alex, I'm giving you a minute. Quickly run us through it and then we'll end shortly. So Alex, you have the floor.
Okay. So I think the most important thing at this stage, as upcoming leaders, that we need to do is to try and put in our efforts in not just upcoming leaders. We are leaders of ourselves. So we are all leaders. So as leaders, we need to take that introspective look at ourselves and help in our communities and help in any way that we can, right? We shouldn't just wait till we get to the top before we start looking for those ways that we can help. But if in our own capacities we are helping as we are now, right, we can make the change that we want to see. So if you identify a problem in your community, for instance, try and solve it in your own capacity. It doesn't have to be a big thing. That's the misconception that we have, that we have to mobilize a lot of funds and then come and do the big projects. No, like the very little thing that you identify in your community that you think you can solve, start solving it now, so that when the leadership is handed over to you, you can make a bigger impact and have less problems because you've already tackled some of the issues. And quickly on the comments that somebody made about the 4.0 GPA. So I'm so sorry, I've exceeded a minute. Just give me a few more seconds. It's true. Here, the emphasis is not on your score, on failing you, on whether you like. Their emphasis is, are you getting the knowledge that you deserve? Right? Ghana, they are waiting to test you and fail you. And like, there are some lecturers that pride themselves in, yes, I have the lowest pass rate in the, and that's a mentality that we need to change.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Alex. We are so grateful for everyone who joined the meeting. Unfortunately, can't continue, but we will take last words from God and invite someone to share what she or he has learned. Then later on, we'll give a closing prayer. Then we'll leave this platform. So, God, in a minute.
Okay, thank you very much. There's this concept in philosophy called existential deprivation, and it's more or less has to do with in the lens of existentialism, there's a condition of hunger and strife that can be seen as a fundamental aspect of a human condition. It's something we see in our country that is a problem. So if we want to fix things, if you want to make the system work here, I feel that we have to go deep down and make the systems work. Expose the people. There are lots of people that
need the opportunity, they just need a boost to be able to get to where they have to get to. You have to fix the system. We have to make the system conducive for them so that we can all achieve the progress we all need in the long run. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, God. I think from all what we have shared today, we have all agreed that from henceforth we are going to take a bold step to a country with people from outside. Does anyone want to share his or her final words? Then we have the closing prayer.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, please, you can talk.
Okay, unfortunately I can't have my camera on and I joined a bit late, so I did miss like the bulk of the session. But from the little that I heard, I would say that I knew the numbers of Ghanaian students coming from Ghana to the US was a lot, but the statistics really puts it into perspective because I didn't expect it to be this high. And I think I've learned that it also speaks to just how broken the Ghanaian system is. So but it's just a testament to the fact that our system is not working and people are just coming here to seek better opportunities. I totally agree with leading change in our own ways. And I know you're supposed to wrap this up. And I'm not sure if you talked about this earlier, but how can people currently in the US also lead that change in their own way? I know you spoke about, Ghanaian students in Ghana helping their communities out in any small way they can. But if I'm in the US, for example, how can I lead that change when I'm not currently in the system?
I think your question is a food for thought. Unfortunately, we have exhausted our time. But then if you have further questions or I'm leaving out a number that you can test so that we have discussions behind doors. So
okay,
please.
That's totally fine. I just wanted to put that out there as something for us to think about. So thank you so much for putting this together and showing us the statistics.
Thank you, Lois. Quickly before we end, I'd want all of us to reflect on everything we've heard in a minute and share it in the chats. Like, I want us to talk because it will make it long. So anything you've learned so far, kindly share it in the chat section. And yes, we'll be closing very soon. We're going to have a closing prayer by Melissa Norman. So while Melissa is getting ready, please share your thoughts, your major takeaways in the comment section. And for Lois, I'd just like to say that wherever you are, you can lead a change because it will all boil back to you being Ghanaian. Like, you see, Ghanaians, they really like when a Ghanaian does something, even if they're in Tokyo, they'll still collect the praise as Ghanaians. So wherever you find yourself, you have to be very aware of your surroundings. You have to be very aware of what's happening around you. Like, don't be closed off to the sufferings of your people around you because you may not be in Ghana at the time. Maybe you've seen that you have Africans around where you are who are really going through a lot, so you can contribute to helping them. These are the little things that lead up to big changes. So yes, I'm seeing the comment section is blowing up. God says he's learned a lot. The keynote message is that be the change and change the narrative. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Gideon says the change starts with us. And that's so true. The change actually starts with us. Lois, thank you too. Thank you too. So, Melissa, if you are ready, can you give us... Wait, before Melissa gives us the closing prayer. Yeah.
Before Melissa, I would want to tell Lois that there's a doctor who is in Germany who recently brought over 30 African Americans to Ghana to whole in heart surgery for people in who. This is what we call leadership. He has realized the problem, rally people behind, and come back to deal with it. He lives outside, but then he has done it. So I think Lois can also think around ways she can pull support within where she is and also come come back here because we need her support. We need your support. We need everyone's support.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So, Melissa, if you are ready for the prayer, we would like to have a prayer now.
Okay. So, Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for a time such as this where the youth and many other people have gathered to speak on these issues. Lord, we pray that you are giving us innovative ideas and that you are filling us, Lord, with avenues and ways by which we can help our country and to make Africa everything that she's supposed to be. We bless you, Lord, for a time such as this. And Lord, as we go, we pray that we do not just leave here and forget everything that we have heard and we have contributed, that we are making efforts to cause change wherever we find ourselves. We thank you, Lord, so much for all that you do. In the name of Jesus, we pray with thanksgiving. Amen.
Amen. Please, if you have further questions, you can forward them to Central Leadership Program platforms everywhere. You can also text me on WhatsApp on 055 78 04 924 055 78 04 924, and you will have discussions behind closed doors. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure having you guys around, and God bless everyone for coming. Without wasting much time, I want to give shout out to my buddy Dixon, who is around, also all the COP fellows who are around, and God bless you so much for coming. Thank you. See you at that time.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Cameras so that we take a picture. It'd be nice.
Yes, please don't leave yet. Please turn on your camera so that we can take a picture. I don't know exactly how best to do this. Please smile.
Oh, amazing people.
Okay. Please, some of you have your cameras off. We are too beautiful to do that. Thank you so much. Okay, so till next time. Bye.